name Jose reminds me of a famous quotation by one Mr. Jose Billings. He said, "Be like a postage stamp, stick to one thing until you get there." I think Mr. ECP Prabhakar, IAS, is one person who embodies motivation. And I believe he is one of the distinguished sons of Tamil Nadu, and he's held several wonderful portfolios in the government. His association with the YMCA, the College for Physical Education, extends up to a decade, and his service to the people of Tamil Nadu for over the last nearly 4 to 5 decades, an astonishingly long time. He has, in this age of corruption, a record of spotless government service and a long list of accomplishments. It is with great pleasure that I request Cairn Share founder, Mr. Jose Anthony, to confer the honorary life membership. I really must read from this beautiful citation. It says, "The President and the Board of Directors of Cairn Share Incorporated USA have great pleasure in conferring the honorary life membership to Mr. ECP Prabhakar IAS in recognition of his distinguished service to the community and his dynamic creative leadership. You have accepted the challenge to soar above the world and to overcome barriers to success that would have caused others to falter and fail. You have been decisive where others have hesitated. You are recognized as a leader for your efforts. Truly, inspiration, like the majestic eagle." Must say, the distinguished daughter of Tamil Nadu. Dr. V.r.s.sampath is a living legend in maternal and child health. We request again Mr. Jose Jacob to Dr. Mrs. V.r.s.sampath in recognition of her distinguished service to the community and her dynamic creative leadership. You have accepted the challenge to soar above the world and to overcome barriers to success that would have caused others to falter and fail. You have been decisive where others have hesitated. You are recognized as a leader for your efforts. Truly, you are an inspiration, like the majestic eagle. The floor will be thrown open for discussion, which is, I guess, the most important part of the...
Or we can even have the lunch and start, get the lunch on the table and discuss. Working lunch. Yeah. That's what we're doing. That's what have working lunch.
call the meeting to order. I think that's rather formal language, I know. Well, even our Prime Minister believes in consensus, and in the morning session, each one of you gave your opinions, your views about the subject. This afternoon session is open for discussion, and we can debate it out. We can discuss how we are going to really implement this program. So I open the session and I hand it over to Dr. Joseph.
Yeah, programs and what we are thinking about. Now, before we come to the conclusions, I would like to hear your ideas, and then we will give you some more thoughts, and then probably we can come to some sort of consensus as to what and how we are going to proceed from here on. This is not a ceremonial meeting or a seminar. It shouldn't end here. We have to have a continuation, and responsible persons from this group should continue the momentum. If you stop in here, I think this is the end of it. It will be killed. And I don't want to get killed. I want to be alive, and this organization from Madras chapter has a lot of responsibility to continue the efforts and progress in this area that we should contain this deadly virus. So I would like to open this forum right now to hear from your people, and then we will discuss openly and come to some practical projects that what we can do together.
Let Mrs. Chanda moderate the discussion.
Moderate. That's where my door. Doctors, social workers, academics, those in the field of AIDS, economists, bureaucrats, and people who have looked after law and order in this state. As a social worker, and I'm thanking International Education Needs, and as I shared with the two Josephs, AIDS is no longer, it is a medical problem, but beyond the medical problem, it is a socio-economic problem. And that's where we all come into the picture. Here is Dr. Kantiraj fighting against this on a war footing. But what are we as social workers, economists, bureaucrats to do to help him? My first request, Dr. Kantiraj, because you sit on so many committees, is that in our state government, we have a massive program of literacy. And a lot of money is being set aside for education. Do not compartmentalize these programs. Let education, literacy programs tie up with healthcare. This I have been screaming aloud when OSA was over here. Don't say literacy means teach the woman how to sign her name instead of giving a thumb impression. Tell her that in order to enjoy life, that sex is fun, but only with one. I mean, that's an education too. That is a slogan that is being used on the posters today. I am sorry that there are 3 or 4 organizations which are in the field of mass awareness building through posters and car stickers and stamps, that they are not present over here. And maybe the Madras chapter or whatever, whether you start a chapter here, we will work along with them. And therefore, Dr. Kantiraj, with your clout and with your area of work, tie up these bodies, the Department of Education, the Department of Adult Education, and feed in your information, feed in your posters. Here is a voluntary organization like the YWCA. If Tamil Nadu won an award in the UN for, in the UNESCO for adult education because it was because of the YWCA Madras program. I'm not involved there, but I'm proud to say that I am a member of the YWCA. So use the voluntary organizations which are in the field of adult education. Use voluntary organizations which are in the field of health. And here, as Mr. Ravindran said, let's not just talk about Madras city. What about the district? What about the rural areas? Here again I'll point a finger at our own state government. Tell them not to close down the primary health centers and the mini health centers. That is an outlet again. We are looking for more medical support and to work within that. I have found, as I've heard we talk about it, and in Madras City there's only one answer, the distribution of condoms. I am told that one of the biggest national bodies, ITC, are selling the condoms now in their pawn shops and cigarette shops. It has become a must. They mean that give it out freely and dole it out, but at the same time, anything that is given free is not respected. So even that they're taking 50 paise or 50, I'm told. We sometimes have to make our villagers and slum people, and that's the area we must work for, because marriage is not what prevails in the slums. There are extramarital relationships there, people are not married, they live with more than one person, and that's our target group through our adult education programs. And then to make these women and men unlearn the fact that if they have the vasectomy and the sterilization, why should they use a condom? It becomes, you have to make them unlearn what they did. And that's another area of work that we as social workers have to do. And therefore this partnership must continue. Don't work in isolation, is my request. Don't work in isolation, work with the community, work with us, work with social workers, work with bureaucrats. Because, and I've heard Suniti Solomon saying, it's a 21 to 40-year-old group that we must function, because that generation is the one that is going out, and you will soon have leisure land for, what's this place? 8 grandfathers and orphans. Yes, grandfathers and orphans where the parents are missing. So the whole economy of the land gets, and I don't think our bureaucrats and our politicians are aware of that problem. That maybe the whole economy of a land will change because of this AIDS program. And therefore the concern should be not just doctors' concern, but each and everyone's concern. Thank you.
Perhaps you could install condom dispensers.
Yes, that's a good idea.
That would be something which is not existent here. People's privacy is maintained when they try to go and get a condom, because many people hesitate to buy a condom because they've got to go to this shop and ask for it, and they're embarrassed about that. If you just put dispensers in public places, that I think would be a useful
like a
step.
vending machine, huh?
Yes, like a vending machine.
Yes.
Because I think that's what's done abroad.
Yes, yes. They give it in a jar and you...
Here, as she says, anything free is not appreciated.
Yes.
Make it some 10 paise or 15 paise at a very nominal cost.
Shall I add?
Having come here, like I was just overhearing somebody's conversation where you said you would, if we don't respond from Tamil Nadu, you would shift to Maharashtra. I think we should concentrate in Tamil Nadu, the south, because we, the southern states, are always neglected by the government of India as well as other people, and I think being southerners, let us not call it Keralites or Tamilians or Andhrites, let us call ourselves as the southerners of India, and I think you should respond more to this state, and you will also try to help you, and I'll try to contribute in whatever way I can.
Respond that right away.
support that view.
We just want to put some pressure on you so that you will work very closely with the government. Without the government support, I don't think we would be able to achieve much. Even though we can make a lot of noise, there will be some response. We have to put them under pressure too. That's what we are going to do from here on. Talking about the South, your language, the Tamil is not a Tamil language, there is no such language. That's a part of Malayalam and Sanskrit. So we are all together in it. Don't worry about that. Thank you.
He is going to fund us. He is going to fund us.
What I say is concentrate on one side because
I was putting it very selfishly.
Let me also add,
a few petals to what has been said, because I think the South, and in particular Madras, the location of your big major project should be at Madras. And not for any other reason, but for the reason that Madras has always been a pace setter. You take it in any field that you take. Take the World Bank assistance to urban development. Tamil Nadu and Madras city tops the list, and they have been awarded the best development that has taken place anywhere in the world. Therefore, from that angle, from all of us present here, we would like to say that we will do our level best and give you all support you want to locate your big institute come hospital at Madras. Thank you.
I mean, we are putting something into the cart before the horse. The problem is, we want to educate the public, make them aware about things. Therefore, I feel that educational program is a very important component or a predecessor of any other activities that you would like to undertake. And another thing is, I think the idea that health is a separate compartment should go. It is the whole development of the community. There are so many other factors are operating, and we have to see that there is a total development of the community if you want to achieve anything positive as far as health is concerned. So the educational component is the first. Then where are you going to start? If you are going to start a center, you have to, identify cases. Now, how are you going to identify the cases? Now, this is another very important thing that you're going to do. Do you think that the hospitals will be sufficient for them to identify the cases? I don't think so. Because what is the percentage of people who are coming into the hospitals? So who is normally dealing with a great number of patients that do turn up with some kind of problem or the other? You'll find that it will be the private practitioners. So if you want to start anything, I think we have to try to tap the potential of the private practitioners and also ask the cooperation with hospitals to support and identify these things. Support, carry out the educational facilities and give the private practitioners whatever support that they require. I think this is the next thing we got to do. And I do not know whether once the case is diagnosed, then only you will think of isolation. Then this is where I think you all are maybe trying to do as a second step or a third step, whatever it is. And this is what I would like to emphasize and find out what are the ways by which we can achieve these objectives or this put this into action.
Let me give some of my views. As well as Madam Kalaignar has asked me some, advised me some, given me some ideas. The government is not going to tackle the whole problem. It is with the help of NGOs. The NGOs' role in the prevention of AIDS is very, very big. Because the government machinery cannot control this disease. Because this disease is not spread through air or water or
non-governmental organizations.
I thought everybody. A voluntary organization, in other words. It's better that way. Voluntary organizations, we fully depend on them. The next thing is, this disease is not spread through water or air or anything. It is through sex, mainly sex. Even among the IV drug abusers, how that IV drug abuser got it first. Now one of the fellow must have got it through the sexual act. And that fellow got infected and he spread the infection through the needle. So basically this disease is exclusively a sexually transmitted disease. So sex is the main mode of transmission for this one. So how to approach into the community about the hazards of the sexual abuse. That is our prime mode of information which should be spread to the public. So in our state, but actually I think Dr. V.r.s.sampath also have, wherever there are Indians, either red or black or blue or whatever may be the color, the culture seems to be the same. So it seems, I think Vijay has got a lot of exposure with the Indians with the same type of culture there, and his experience can be utilized here. I don't know. I'll have a word with him. Here, the condom promotion is the only answer at present. How far the society will accept it? That is very important. See, if I say use condom, that will prevent AIDS. That means even an innocent fellow who never had an inclination towards multiple sex partners, who never had an idea of having sex outside the marriage, may think, oh, there is such thing called extramarital sex. Then I can use condom so that I can have extramarital sex without any danger. This kind of ideas may be developing. We may be creating a group who till then were not aware of such extramarital contact, who are afraid of having extramarital contact because there are some diseases that can come. Here there is a device which can prevent this problem. So now I can have sex at the same time I need not have a problem. So if this kind of attitude develops in the society, that will bring out a negative attitude. All these things have to be dealt with. So in a Western country, I have seen in a Frankfurt airport, in the toilet you can see blue films. You put two Deutsch mark, you can see blue film for 10 minutes. And in the same toilet, there is a vending machine. Put one Deutsch mark, 3 packets of condom. This you cannot do in Meenamaka airport. But at the same time, we are having an idea. There are some cinema theaters who screen the kind of sex-oriented films in the morning shows between 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, which is seen by most of our youngsters. In those theaters, we can have these vending machines. We can put up the posters about the dangers of AIDS, how AIDS is contracted. Yeah.
Condom, I don't think it will be a controversial subject. I don't think we should go very deep into the condoms. Of course, there will be misuse, there will be abuse all the time. There is no question about it. I think along with that, there will be some posters and brochures, and again, you're talking about the education and the awareness, how to use it, and what is the purpose of it. There will be some stigma. There will be discussions. Again, we are talking about. We have to work with the the regular public health seminars with the doctors in that area, so that we can keep them informed as to how to report to the again our task force or the AIDS hotline or something like that. So that's one thing that we can think about.
We can organize a regional seminar among the farmers about
you have to take it region by region. You see, you have to find out how many sort of practitioners are there, how many doctors are there, how many dispensaries are there. Get them into an area, and then you got to educate the doctors also and tell them what we are wanting them to do in the field.
doctor can.
You see, and then like that you pump areas.
Just like
So we have to
workshop.
We have to formulate a plan of action. And of course we got to take the specialists, tell them also possible, get educational aids, all these things we have to be prepared for such a thing.
Actually, we have a plan to organize a workshop in the month of August.
You are rendering service there, and then you shift on to another area, and like that you keep on, it's an ongoing. It has to go on and on. See? And people who are sort of having some sort of knowledge about the AIDS, what are those people also should be involved in this. And the social workers also should be involved in this. The health educators should be, not only health educators should be involved. You see? So we have to plan very carefully what are the things that we are wanting to do, and how the outreach, you see, is important.